to a point where you can really contribute?
Yeah, it was frustrating, but it's all God's plan. That's what I really believed in. I had good leaders behind me. I had good leaders behind me, and in front of me, B.J. Goodson and all that, and Ben, they kept me up, so I just had to be patient. I was still a young guy, so B.J. had a great season, so I can't be jealous of that. I just kept trying to learn, kept trying to get healthy, and I learned a lot last year.
How much have coaches harped on big plays and their effect on last year's defense and how you got to clean them up for the coming year?
That was a big thing. Even before we started spring practice, Coach V made us go watch the big play cut up from last season. He wanted us to watch it, take notes, and see what the big plays were, because really we were really good defense last year, but most of our yards that we gave up came from big plays, and that was it. So he really focused on that this year.
How long did that video take?
It was quite a lot. It was quite a long time. It was a lot of plays, and it's kind of embarrassing because it was I think it was 70% of the plays we shut them out, and then they had just huge plays that killed us. So.
If you guys aren't leading the nation in tackles for loss this year, is it then about just being more consistent about you would sacrifice TFLs for less big plays?
Oh yeah, TFLs. I mean, that's all good, but the big plays is what got us. It got us in the national championship. It got us in some close games. The offense is doing great, and we just gave up big plays. So that's what will get us. Thank you.
What's the biggest things you think you can bring to this defense this year?
Just being myself, just learning, being a good teammate to Ben, being a great teammate to all the other people, leading, and just trusting in my abilities.
They said, Coach Ben said it last spring, you were as good as anybody at the linebacker position. How hard was it last year to kind of have those injuries and not be able to fully realize your potential just yet?
It's tough as a competitor because you want to be out there and you want to play. You worked hard. I went through the redshirt year, winter training, spring football. But like I said before, it's all in God's plan. So I just had to wait my turn, try to get back healthy, learn a lot from BJ because he taught me really a lot. And it was really beneficial. I learned a lot of stuff from BJ last year, so it all worked out.
Your relationship with Ben started before you guys got here. Can you tell us a little bit about
Yeah, we started working out together at flight school facility. It's in Anderson, South Carolina. It's about 30 minutes from here. And I know he played at T.O. and I played at BHP, so they're like 30 minutes apart. So we scrimmaged each other during the summer. But then I started working out with him, and we developed that relationship. And I was a junior, and he was a senior. And then he was actually the guy that got me my offer. He already committed to Clemson, and Coach V was like, "Do you know any talent around?" And Ben was like, "Yeah, I know Kendall Joseph," and he watched my film, and then he liked my film. So that's actually how I got that offer. So we're pretty close.
Yeah, that was one of your first major offers.
Yeah, Louisville was my first, but then I had like 3 or 4 more, and then Clemson came along.
Is that the one you were waiting for?
I would say it was. Yeah, I was really just appreciative of any offer though. So I was kind of just taking them all in. But of course, with Clemson being 45 minutes from where I live, I really wanted that one.
It's always been your dream to play for Clemson football.
Yes, sir, it has. Yeah.
Ben, what kind of leadership role have you seen him take so far this spring, being the senior of this group?
It's really no different from last year. Honestly, he leads by his work ethic. It's not a day that Ben's going to go into a workout and just not give it his all. You know that Ben's going to go hard. So he's really just doing the same thing, being himself and being physical and really just leading first by his work ethic and letting everybody else see how he works.
What are the biggest things you're trying to prove or improve on this spring?
Learning defense. You can never learn enough with Coach Venable's defense. And that's really the main thing. I got a little technique things I need to work up on, but it's really just leading the defense, trying to be a leader, and letting the guys know they can count on me, and just learning more information.
What are the biggest challenges of learning Venables' defense?
You got run fits, you got pass responsibilities, you got to set the front. It goes on, and then he wants you to be perfect. He demands a lot out of you. So at first that can be tough because you feel like you're trying hard enough, but he'll never be satisfied because he wants you to be great. So really he just stays on you every day, and it's kind of complicated.
What did you learn from BJ last year?
BJ was the prime example from BJ was just be patient because he had to wait 4 years for him to even start. So I couldn't whine about myself missing my redshirt freshman year when he waited 4 years. So the biggest thing with him was just being patient, and he just really, I liked how he locked in. When it was game time and even practice time, he locked in, and he was the most physical player on the field.
From being on the sidelines last year, what did you, I didn't play a little bit, but what did you learn kind of from having to observe that you can now apply to actually being on the field?
Just, I practiced a lot last year. I didn't play as much in the games, but I practiced 5 times out of the week, 4 times out of the week. So I really learned a lot about the defense, how to call the fronts, how we scheme each week depending on the team's offense and all that kind of stuff. So I really just learned a lot of knowledge about the game.
Is Coach V hard on you now that you're a starter?
Same.
Same?
It's never going to change with him.
Yeah.
The minute you get here, he's going to be kind of trying to ease you in, let you learn it. But after a while, it's the same every day. You get the same Coach V every day, regardless.
Did Ben kind of share a little bit about that with you before you got here, like how to take it and not take it personally?
Yeah, he told me about it. He said, you better get your mind right, because it's not like nothing you ever seen before. I had a tough high school coach, linebacker coach in high school, but it's just mentally trying to learn those plays and him being on you every day. Ben gave me a warning.
Yeah. Who was your linebacker coach in high school?
Coach Coates.
Okay.
Yeah, he played at Wofford. He was offensive lineman at Wofford, but for high school he was a pretty tough coach.
Yeah. So you were used to that?
Yeah, I was pretty used to it.
Coach V said at this time last year, you were the best Mike here. Obviously BJ really did well as a starter, but did you feel like you could have been a starter last year if you had stayed healthy?
I feel like I could have. I had a good spring. That's not taking nothing from BJ, but I worked just as hard, and I feel like I did really well, and I could have started, but it just didn't work out that way, and then it worked out for BJ, and he had a great year, so I'm happy for him.
Being so many new starters on this defense, do you feel like even though you're younger and have less experience, you can still kind of take on a leadership role this year?
Oh yes, sir. You can always lead by your work ethic, how you live your life, and how you just carry yourself every day. So that's the main thing I'm focused on.
What's the biggest thing you think this defense needs to do here the rest of the spring to get to where it needs to be this fall?
I would just say locking in every day, not taking the practice for granted, listening to Coach V, and really when we get out in the field, we have to communicate. Because sometimes last year we stopped communicating on the field and we didn't see what we needed to see. So we're really just gelling together and communicating.